Make sure they can hear us.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
Technical difficulties. Sorry, we're starting 5 minutes late. Let us know that you can hear us. We're using these microphones. And so let us know. And we want to make sure that everything is working okay. We're going to go to the settings right quick. And it looks like everything is working okay. Let's face it, eating healthy can be somewhat... So, I'm not sure what that was. Sorry about that, y'all.
That was your computer.
So we have an issue because our special guest is having trouble logging on. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And if she's able to join us, then she's able to join us. Otherwise, we will talk about what Niki is doing in Merida, Mexico next week. So we will see what is going on.
You just got the thumbs up.
I don't know how that works. So hopefully you guys saw us earlier today. We were on Rashida Dow. We made history, y'all.
Yes, we did.
We made history. My man.
I was the first man on her channel.
On Rashida Dow, right.
Ever.
Exactly. So if you all don't know, right now we are in Los Angeles, California. We live in Lisbon, Portugal. We are in the process of rehabbing this condo, which is our condo, and my mom lives in there. You see all the boxes and stuff in the background. My mom is living here right now, but I am moving her into assisted living. And we did I don't know which episode that we did that I got a lot of flack on. I don't know if it was, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But if Tia does not show up, then what we're going to talk about today, and then we'll do a little Ask Us Anything, we just going to wing it, is what do you do and how do you behave when your family pushes back, right? So I want to start with the story that you all know. We're the sandwich generation, and I had to put my dad into assisted living. Didn't get a lot of pushback on that, interestingly.
But wait a minute. Shouldn't we introduce ourselves?
Oh. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad. And so today we are going to talk about what you do when your family pushes back with your dreams. And what are we talking about? Pushes back. Pushes back on what? We're talking about pushing back on maybe not spending enough money because you are on the road to financial independence. We'll talk about that. When you want to move abroad, why you shouldn't do it, like your family, why you shouldn't do it, and why you abandoning us, and you've got responsibilities here, and all of that stuff that you hear from folks whose opinion you did not ask.
But they are always willing to give it.
They're always willing to give it. They're always willing to give it. But first, if you are new to our channel, then you may not know about 7.5, 8 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We met with a financial planner, looked at our money, and it looked crazy. We were in no position to retire. But about 3.5 years later, we got our financial act together, and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan. Even if you're in your 40s, if you're in your 40s and you have not started planning, you are late. You are late. Okay. So we help folks who are getting close to retirement age, buenas tardes, who have not planned, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early, even if you do not have a dime saved. Even if you don't have a dime saved, we can get you closer to retirement. We can help you with a plan to get you closer to retirement. It looks like we might have Tia after all. So the information for all of that is in the description below. If you want to take our course Beyond the Bling, all of that is in the description below. So while she's trying to log in, I'm just going to give them our little story here, okay. Right? So all of you know that one of the reasons why I retired early wasn't because we had all of our stuff together. We didn't. We did not have our stuff together. But I couldn't take it anymore. I was working 70 hours a week. I was taking care of my dad, who has dementia, full time, and doing everything else that life requires. And there was a pandemic going on, and we were in lockdown, and I couldn't take it anymore, y'all. I could not take it. Like, my hair was falling out. I had lost like 40 pounds in 40 days or whatever. It was crazy. And so I started looking for ways that we could speed up. I already knew about the FIRE movement. So for all of you who do not know, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And so I already knew about that. We were already on the path to FIRE, but it was going to be about 3 years more before we hit full FIRE at the rate we were going, right?
We were looking at 2025, possibly.
Exactly, 2025. And when you are stressed the poop out, 3 years, 4 years sounds like a lifetime.
Yeah.
A lifetime. So at that point, we looked at the math started mathing, and I had to start trying to find situations with my dad. Now, here's the key point. I was trying to find a way to get help with my dad so that he could stay where he was. That means I would have stayed working and doing everything that I was doing, but I was trying to find ways that he could afford to help with his upkeep so that I could continue to do what I was doing and he could continue to live with us. I could not find any resources. And so I had to move him back to LA. California has more resources than Colorado. And
family members.
And more family members as well. And so we moved him back here where we're from, and we put him in assisted living. Flash forward 2 years, or actually 18 months. And it's time for my mom. It was time for my mom to find another situation back then, but she wasn't trying to hear it.
No.
She's only barely trying to hear that now.
She's really barely trying to hear it now.
But the doctor would not release her from the hospital, saying that she should not live alone. She should not live alone. And so I remember someone asked in the chat, like, would I have moved to Portugal with my mom? And I'm like, no. I got so much flack for that. I got so much flack. Didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I was called everything but a child of God. And here's the thing, y'all. No one else knows your situation. No one else can say what is best for you. And no one else should try and make you feel guilty for the choices that you are making when you are making them from a place of love. I realized that caregiving to people who think they still know more than you is not my ministry. I have realized that caregiving to people who cannot appreciate it because they don't have the cognitive ability to appreciate it is not my ministry. So my dad is in better shape now than he was when I was taking care of him. And yet people have the audacity to come onto our channel and in our personal life, friends and family in our personal life, to tell us what we should be doing for my parents and what we shouldn't be doing. And when people come at you and tell you that your mission for your life, your dream for your life is not what you should be doing and you should be doing something else, I have one word for you: pushback. Two words: pushback.
I mean, you're doing the best you can with what you have, especially if they haven't planned for themselves. So then you have to make up that portion too.
But these people want you to be a martyr.
Yeah.
They want you to be a martyr. So my mom and dad did not plan for a future. And I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, so did you just think you were going to live in this place until you went home, until you transitioned on? And she's like, I don't know. I guess I did. But you're not capable of taking care of yourself by yourself, nor this place. The place is filthy. How did you think that? It just never occurred to her that she would ever need help. And here we are. Nor did she plan financially. So I want to get y'all's opinion on this. So Tia, I see you, but it's saying your device is not connected, baby. You're going to have to go out and come back in because it's not is not letting me bring you in onto the stage. So Niki is here. She's trying to log in. I don't know if she realizes I can't get to her. But anyway, so all of this stuff dealing with my mom, the fact that she did not plan financially, and if I listen to what other people said, this is what they are saying without saying it. Halisi, you do not get to have a life. The life that you were supposed to have was between the ages of 21 when you graduated from college and the moment your mama needed you. Never mind that you were working 70 hours a week, 60 hours a week for the majority of that time. That's a you problem, not a mom problem. So now that you're 50 something and you're of that sandwich generation, it is your responsibility to give up this next chapter of your life to take care of the person who didn't plan for herself. Never mind that you don't do it well. Figure it out and be a martyr and go through this whole life without ever finding great pockets of joy in adulthood. That's what they're saying. Martyr your life. Because they plan to martyr their lives. And if they plan to martyr their lives, then you should definitely be wanting to martyr your life.
I'm not feeling that.
I ain't feeling it either. But isn't that what they're saying?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, somebody swore up and down that you're going to go to hell because, you moved.
Exactly.
You abandoned your mother.
Exactly. And so I'm just here to tell you, when folks, whether you have a platform or not, whether they get into your texts on your Facebook page as you're talking about what you're trying to do, or they call you and tell you directly that you should be martyring your life, so that you can live up to their expectations, push back. There, moving with my mom was never an option. It was never an option. First of all, she doesn't fly.
Right.
So there's that. We were in Colorado for 25 plus years and she visited twice. And she was like, she had to like emotionally prepare for that for like months in advance, right? So the thought of flying across the Atlantic Ocean, please, I don't think so. She wouldn't have done it. And yet people still think they know us well enough to tell me that I should be moving my mom to Portugal. My mom is not a curious person. She's not going to learn the language. She's not going to, she still uses a flip phone. How's she going to learn how to get money out of that ATM when it doesn't speak English? But people think they have the right to tell you. Tia's laughing. People think they have the right to tell you how you should live your life. You should live your life in a manner that brings you joy, as long as you are not causing pain to other folks. So I talked to my mom about this, but I ain't gonna tell you what she said. We're gonna talk about this with Tia and Niki. Okay, it looks like you don't have audio.
She has audio.
Do you have audio?
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Hey, baby,
How you doing,
welcome back
darling?
to our Black Utopia.
Is there any background? Awesome. I'm so sorry. I had technical difficulties. Wait a
We
minute.
have a delay.
Yeah, close that other tab. We're gonna let her close down the other stuff so that we're not getting that
technical
that echo.
difficulties.
Look, I have made. Okay, you still got one more tab open.
Feedback. Give me just a second. Let me
So
work
y'all,
it out.
while she's working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and mute her. Audio is always our thing, y'all. We love you guys, and we try to bring you the best content possible. But I'm gonna tell you, us and audio have always been a thing. Remember, we had that echo. We had an echo with the Yarbros. I finally figured out I had another tab open. I had an echo with. We had an echo with Adelia Borchade the first time. We finally figured out it was listening and hearing the speaker.
Through the speaker.
Yeah, and the speaker was picking up from the microphone, and it was just looping back. We couldn't hear it, but you guys could hear it. All right, let's bring Tia back up and see if how's it going. We still got an echo. So you still got something open somewhere, Nikki. So I'm gonna mute her again. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys, and then we're gonna say hello to the folks who are in the audience. I want to hear, as you all are planning this move abroad, as you're planning, and you guys know the drill. Nikki, when you get a chance in the private chat, if you could put your links, I forgot to do that. And then I can put them in the chat as well. That would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and let you do that. In the meantime, you guys know the drill. Put a Q in front of your question or comment that you want up there. And I'm going to go all the way back to the top here and see who we're talking to. Hey, Greta, we will have to catch the replay. AFC playoffs. Look, y'all.
That's why we got invited to go watch football somewhere.
Yeah, our cousin invited us over. While these boys are on the field making buku bucks, what y'all doing? Are you planning for the day that you can stop working and not have to do what you are doing? Or are you spending that time trying to find a little piece of joy watching other people run across the field making buku bucks? I'm just asking because we're trying to drop knowledge over here. We're trying to drop knowledge over here on how you too can be financially free. And y'all talking about the Ravens and Baltimore and stuff like that. Greta, girlfriend, please. Hey, Diane, how are you? Hey, Jess is in the house. We're so glad you're here. Hey, Jametta.
Action BJ.
We're going to be here for another week and a half. We've got to see you before you leave. Okay, y'all. On the 27th, no, that's what the 27th. On the first weekend of February, we are gonna be at CJ's again at noon. So if I'm gonna take her, I'm gonna take her off stage for a second while she still figures stuff out. All right. So if you are in LA, CJ's on Obama and La Brea at noon next Saturday. We will be there. Some of my high school friends and elementary school friends will be there as well. But if you want to come out, it's BYOB. They got grits, y'all. They got grits. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
Bonne nuit. Glad you could make it. Hey,
miss you guys.
Yes, we'll be back soon. Hey, Metabolic Maven. Sounds like a new name. Welcome. Hey, Tanya. Valerina is in the house. Alexandria. Shanora is in the house. We got Gregory G. Good afternoon. Frederica. Love it. Yakota is in the house. Hey, Cassandra. Oh, she's going to catch up later, too. All these folks watching basketball somewhere, everywhere. Sounds like a new name. Rick's name doesn't have a K in it. So he's not Richard, y'all. He's Ricardo. He is Ricardo. Hey, K Renee. Hey. Are you back? Are you back here? Where are you at? Are you still in Portugal? Lester is in the house. No, we met at the meetup here.
Yeah.
At the meetup here, not in Portugal. So sorry about that. I don't want to say your real name. I do remember, but I don't want to say it. All right. Hey, Lester. Hey, Greta. Good to see you. Killer Queen is in the house. Maria's in the house. Hey, Kimmy. Donna, the art appraiser, is in the house. And Helen, we've got a Helen and an Ellen. Nor. And Shara's in the house. Just Don Johnson. Not D-O-N Johnson.
No.
So my middle name is Don. Navis? Is it Navis is in the house? Did I pronounce that correctly? Hey, Professor. Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad you could hear us. Hey, Diana. This looks like a new name. Welcome. And Laura. We've got Wendy, Marguerite. Hey, Marguerite. Sandra's in the house. LaDwan. That's a new name. Hey, good to see you. MT is in the house. Hey, Vicky and Ra and Daniel. We're glad you're back, Daniel. Hey, Bobby. Good to see you. Michelle is in the house.
Yes.
Meriton. Who else do we have? We've got Kimberly, and it seems like a new name. Emma Mullen? Is it Emma Mullen?
Emma Mullen.
Welcome. Hey, Adelia. You guys, you want to talk about folks who have changed our lives. Adelia is one of them. If you don't know, Picky Girl travels the world. Look, anything you want to know about anything, Adelia knows. Adelia knows. If you're not subscribed to her channel, why not? Why not? If you want to move abroad, if you don't understand investing, if you want to understand your money, you need to be subscribed to the Picky Girl Travels the World. Pray, travel, eat. I love it. I love it. That's what I do. That's what I do. Hey, Kay. Wow. Haven't seen you in a long time. Wow. Had something happen. They don't know what you're going through because it's not because of lack of love or for your parents. Exactly. That's the thing. This is how I look at it. We are not required to physically take care of our parents. When if you are a Christian, you say, honor thy mother and thy father, or a Jew, right? That doesn't mean that you physically have to be the one to do it. I just have to make sure that someone is doing it and that they're doing it well.
And they're doing it good, yeah.
Right? That's my job. And I find that I am a better daughter. I'm a more patient daughter. I am a more giving daughter when I am not doing the day-to-day and being stressed out by the day-to-day. You might find the same. You might find the same.
Yeah, you can't do it all.
Right? You can't. You can't. So,
see if Niki's in.
This is what people do. They judge. They judge. This is what people do. Right? So you're on your phone now?
My phone, yeah.
And I still hear feedback. So are you logged in anywhere else?
I'm not logged in anywhere.
Huh. This is weird.
Hold on, let me.
Okay, she's going to keep trying. We're going to keep going. I'm going to mute her. So we will keep trying. Yeah, it is amazing. I've been there, done that. Caregiving is so hard. Yeah, if you didn't see the video that we did about the high cost of being a caregiver, what the studies show is that if you are a caregiver, chances are you're going to die earlier than your peers who are not caregivers. So all of these people who are in the comments, all of these people in my life who are trying to guilt me into physically being the one to take care of my mom are basically saying, we want you to die sooner than you have to. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. You know, we don't care that this is shortening your life. This is what you owe. This is what you owe.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Better. Awesome.
And there's no echo.
Can you all hear me?
We can. Can
Can
you hear us?
But I couldn't hear you.
Oh no. Headphones?
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I had to take out the mic, but can you hear me okay with no feedback?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can.
I can hear you.
Okay.
It's just a major day. I'm sorry to come so late, guys. Thank you.
Look. We've been holding it down for almost 30 minutes now. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do what we have to do. So Yeah.
appreciate it. And I
About
apologize. 3:30. I was looking at it as 3:30 my time, not 3:30 Eastern time. And I'm always
oh oh
talking about being
oops.
on time.
Oh oops.
So they,
And I don't know what Merida is on Central Time.
it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was on Eastern Time. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So for those of you
Yeah.
who do not know, or those of you who have joined our Black Utopia in the past year, you might, or in the past 9 months, I'm going to say, you may not know that about a year and 2 months ago, we already interviewed Niki. And her mom popped in for a little bit as well. That video has gotten like 60,000 views. It's gotten more views than we have subscribers. So we know it overperformed. And what that tells me is that there's more to say. And so one of the things I kind of teed it up with what I've said already is that you moved to Merida, Mexico with your mom. So you moved abroad with your mom, and we moved without my parents. So we've got two perspectives here that we're going to talk about. What does it look like? What you should be thinking about when you make this move? Because because the bottom line is the majority of the folks who watch this channel are going to be in the sandwich generation. And so what that means is you might have adult kids that are still in your pocket, and now you have parents who did not have the same opportunity as we and may not have planned successfully for their own retirement, and so they may be in your pocket, or you may have to subsidize their lifestyle to a certain extent. Or at least, at the very least, you are spending time managing their lives, right? Okay. So, with that said, why don't we let you introduce yourself?
Okay. I am Tia Niki. Where's my camera? I am Tia Niki. I have had the wonderful honor and privilege of being on our Black Utopia, as Halisi mentioned in the past, and I was brand new off the boat. But I have been here now for almost 2 years. Julio, and actually June will be my anniversary of coming to Merida. And it has been quite the journey, quite the journey. And I think being on my journey alone versus being with my mother as a different experience. I will not lie when I say that I don't want to call it heavy or burdensome, but it's just that I'm not alone. So I have to always take my mother into consideration, even my minute things like location, where I live, how and when I engage in the public, making sure that she has accessibility to certain things. And I'm learning a lot of this by doing. It is on the job training. Um,
That's for sure.
some things are innate, they transfer over. Just like I was doing in the States, I have to do here. Now, the one motivating factor in me being here and choosing to bring my mother with me is because of the benefits and the services, and I can get help that I cannot afford in the States. Oh, you can have in-home care, you can have services in the States, but you have to pay for them and pay a steep cost, right? So I find that things here are way affordable, accessible. Merida is service oriented, so you can find almost anybody to do anything that you need. And being a single daughter of a single parent with no children brings about another twist. So I'm constantly having to pivot. Now, as I mentioned, some things that are mundane have come with me: the cooking, the cleaning, the keeping the house straight, things like that. But just in this small amount of time, my mother has aged a couple of years since I've been here. So it doesn't stop and the care increases. It may increase in certain areas. So I find them making connections and having accessibility to services and people who can help. Pardon me, people who can help with resources. Resources is imperative when bringing parents or family abroad. I have run into a few people who've had to return because their parents needed care and they couldn't afford it here. They get it free in the States, right? Medicare, all of these things. It doesn't transfer over. So a lot of things are out of pocket, and some people don't come prepared for that. They don't have a health savings. They're not investing and keeping a little seed money to be able to make a rash, immediate decision to have immediate services at any time as our parents get old.
Right.
I will tell you, she does not need as much care because she's stress free. Her lifestyle has changed. So,
Ooh.
so the increase of needing is not as much because she lost 35 pounds.
Wow.
She lost a lot of weight. I lost weight. Eating the fresh food. I go out every day and get vegetables. It's in walking distance. So I get fruit every day. Fresh meats at the meat market.
Hmm.
Opposed to every day she is walkable. So she can get out and walk. She'll make little rounds in our little garage. She'll go around and I did 10 laps today. And she's getting so the quality of life is also affecting the quality of her health. She doesn't need as much. I don't think, from my experience from being in the States, as long as I was compared to being on here a couple of years, I can see the difference in her overall health. Let me tell y'all something. My mama was dizzy. When she turned, she would get dizzy sometimes. When she was sleeping and she turned from one head to the pillow to the other, she would get dizzy sometimes. So we went to the doctor. She said she may have vertigo. So we were like, okay. She said, we're going to recommend a treatment for you. She received a treatment that day. She left. She came back in 7 days, and they had cured her of her vertigo. You understand what I'm saying? They cured her.
So that she doesn't have to be on medication for life. That part.
No medication. One treatment and the service, to correct it. They explained everything to me that they did about the crystals in your ear and all of this. They said 9 times out of 10, it does not, come back. It does not repeat. If it does come back to us, and we will treat her again. But there's no ongoing treatment.
Hmm.
There was only one treatment and then cured, and that cost 175 US dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Cured.
Right.
We don't have to go back. They don't need to do a checkup.
Right.
You know, this does a lot for my mom's confidence in her ability to heal here.
Yeah.
It does her confidence in her ability, the doctor's ability to do their job and not use her as a money cow, which they did a lot in the States.
Hmm.
Visit after visit after visit, just walk in and say you're okay, or look over the paperwork and give you something they could have emailed to you or could
Right.
have did on Zoom, right?
Right.
Cash, and I've had this discussion with her doctor in the past in the States about my mama keep coming in every week, every other week for nothing. Whereas here, we went and got her physical done. Everything was perfect. When she came in, she was on full blood pressure medication. She's on one.
Wow. Four? Four
Okay.
different.
Wow. Yeah. Gosh.
She's on one. And she takes her blood pressure daily. So we know that it's effective. We see the numbers. And the doctor has it, and it's still low. It's still not high. It's still low. So the biggest thing, I think the most grappling thing we deal with as our parents age is health. Because when she's healthy and happy, I'm happy and healthy.
Right.
When she's doing well, right, I'm doing well. So I'm affecting my health directly and indirectly through her being her best self here. And I do not believe that's possible in the States. I just, just like to us, you know, all of her medication being delivered here at the house, no limitation on it. We talked about that the other day, she and I, how prescription in the States is every 30 days. You can't go back before the 30 days or you have to pay, right? Here you can get 25 of them. There's no limit. You don't have to wait 30 days. You can get a double prescription, a triple prescription. You don't have to wait. And I don't think she realized that as much. And so I told her, instead of getting one, let's get 2 or 3. Is that me?
What do you hear? I don't hear anything.
Can you hear it?
Uh-uh.
As long as you can hear it.
We can't hear
So
any beeping.
prescriptions, and things like that, it just makes life easier.
Yeah.
It causes stress. And when you have less stress, you have less dis-ease. As far as bringing my mother, and I know I have a lot of clients because your girl has grown since she's been here. I found
Yes.
that I speak for the ordinary person, right? So my goal is always to help people get here. They gave me the name Harriet. I'm going to body that and do what I can. I got courses, I got classes, we do workshops, we got it going on. You all have been a great influence to me, being where you are, and it's not about coming to America, it's about leaving the USDS. Okay.
Exactly. The USBS. I love that. Oh, I'm totally still in that. I'm still in
Yes,
that.
ma'am. So that's the name of my course. My course is Cut the Cord Course, a guide on how to leave the USBS.
I love it.
And I've had over 50 people take the course. It's been very successful. It's exercises in it. It's not just reading. It's actually getting out of your head and getting into your body
Right.
and getting your life moving in the correct direction, in the direction that you desire. So it's not about Merida, it ain't about Port, it's about leaving.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Wherever your happy place is, wherever your
Wherever,
happy place is, right? And
right?
that's the thing because we were on Rashida Dow's channel earlier, and girl, she had us waking up at 8 o'clock this morning. I had to set an alarm. I ain't set an alarm since the last time I flew out at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? But anyway, one of the things as she was asking us questions that I realized is this thing that we've done, this moving out of our home country. This is special. This is special, and I don't think that we give ourselves enough credit because a good portion of people that I talk to, not who watch our channel, but out there in the world, they are just absolutely clueless. They didn't know that this was a thing. They didn't know this was possible, and then they have no idea why. Why would you want to do that?
Right.
Why would you want to move out of the United States?
It's the greatest place
Well,
on earth.
this is for the people that is not free. If they have found solace and happiness in the States, it's what makes up America. It's got to be in America. It's got to be a people in the States. Those people are the crust. The core of the States, and the States need them. If they're able to be successful, happy, and stress-free, do it. But for those of us who are tired of the USBS, and we can break it down politically, geographically, financially, as far as health,
Spiritually,
every level of the game.
Right.
It's time to go. And I really think that you, me, Cortez, people like us who are out here doing the work are at the beginning of a mass revolution. because the revolution is not changing, trying to. I was talking to my brother about this earlier. I think it's ill conceived to think that you can actually battle a system that was made to do exactly what it's doing.
Right,
Come
right,
on.
right.
It ain't broke. It ain't flawed. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's doing exactly
Exactly what
what it's
it's
meant.
designed to do. Right.
Right? So look, it's other options, and that's what we represent, the options. The so limiting, I think not limiting our perception and perspective of options is key.
Exactly.
And the more we
Exactly.
go out and say, hey, I did it, you know my story, Halisi, homelessness. We were homeless. I was in the car. My mama was at the shelter, and it's something that I cannot afford. And if I can position myself better to make sure to ensure that there's like such a small probability of that ever happening again, and increase my ability to monetize and procreate funds, which is what you all talk about. Money matters, right? And developing myself, why would I not take the chance to do that? The American US will always be there
It'll
with
be there.
open arms with open arms and loaded guns. They gonna be
Hmm.
there ready.
Open
And
arms
loaded
and
gun.
loaded guns. Okay.
You
So I got the USBS. I got open arms and loaded guns. She ain't lying. She ain't lying because the open arms is because they want to make sure that they got our tax money.
Oh yeah, they want to
mm,
bring you in now. They got to bring you in.
They want to make sure they ain't losing that tax money. They're not right. And the thing about it is, as your brother said, and we're gonna, you guys, the audio is gonna change in a minute because we forgot to recharge in between Rashida and us, so it's gonna lose in a minute, but we'll deal with that and we'll just go on to the microphones that are on the computer. But in any event, the notion that the system is not broken, we get so many comments about staying to fight. You're not fighting racism by leaving. It is not our job to fix racism. It's the racist job to fix racism and people who look like the racists to fix racism. It is not the job
Absolutely.
of the victim to fix the perpetrator.
Thank you. Thank
It's the
you.
job of the
Thank
victim
you.
to protect ourselves and to make sure
Yep.
that we are safe
mm,
and to be proactive about our own efficacy,
Exactly.
not to
You're fighting to
try to change somebody else's
right.
mind, heart, being. At what point do we stop fighting? And like you said, your mom is getting healthier because there's less stress. Part of that less stress is not feeling the obligation to change 70% of American people to believe that everybody else who doesn't look like them are human beings too and deserve equal rights. Not my job, not my ministry, not my circus, not my monkeys.
I'm not even from there. My folks ain't even from there. Why am I fighting for land that ain't fighting for me? Why am I fighting for a country that's not fighting for me? My people not from there. We was born there. We weren't seeded.
Right?
It's a different vibe. Yeah, like no, this is not. This is where we are by default.
Well, not by default, by design. We're here by
By
default, but well,
by
everything is
default.
by design. But yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? The future generations,
This
they
is
just born into it, right?
you born
So
into it exactly. But the system wanted you to be born into it. It was
exactly,
designed
Right.
for you to be born into it, right?
absolutely,
And
absolutely,
and America, as far as I'm concerned, is like an abusive spouse.
absolutely. It's an
I
abusive
love
relationship.
you. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. You made me do that. You made me slap you,
Yeah,
right?
let me give you some.
Yeah.
If you would just act right, then you wouldn't make me slap you. If you would just pull up your pants, then I wouldn't have to over police you.
Right, right, right.
If you would just cut off those
Fall,
dreadlocks, then I could give you the job.
yeah, fall in line.
Fall in line.
Yeah.
But then tomorrow, I'm going to slap you and blame it on you. And
Absolutely.
then tell you, but I love you. You're American,
Of course,
just like
abusive
me.
relationship.
It is an abusive relationship. It is an abusive relationship. And anybody who does not think so, I don't know. I don't know where you've been living. I just don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna look and see what's in the comments. But you said there are a couple of things you said. Let's go back to the healthcare. So when you're talking about moving a parent abroad, one of the things that you need to take into consideration is the healthcare system. Obviously, as we get older, we tend to use the system much more often. And you said you're able to afford things now that you were not able to afford before when it comes to healthcare. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So in healthcare, we have minimized it to medical, vision, right, and dental, right? So those are the only things that we really look at as US. Make sure we got coverage,
Right.
on those three. But here opens up so many other avenues of holistic applications and services, healthcare. It also opens up acupuncture. Did we ever think about that? Chiropractic, workout. My girlfriend is getting her. She's going through a whole 2 week every other day. They're taking her through this to heal her, to cure her, so she won't have surgery later on in life.
Right.
So I think the benefits, the health benefits, are broader and more accessible than in
Hmm.
the States. Even the small things like getting a massage. And if you have acute arthritis or sciatica or
Hmm.
things like that, massage is not just for luxury. It's like a necessity to work
Right.
out the joints. So having access to that and having, the lady will come into your house and give you a massage for 2 hours for $30.
See,
Wow.
30 US.
Wow.
So unheard of in the States. You like
unheard
going on
of.
cruises with massages, well, this can be your everyday life. Um, what I really like about the healthcare is the technology. I really like, so my mother ended up getting blood work done. She got diagnostics done the same day, walk in, no appointment needed. Got the results the same day, the actual film
Hmm.
inside of a folder, and
Right, right.
then the information sent over to her doctor, so she didn't have to bring any information with her.
Unlike
So I
Portugal.
like the consistency of it, the communication, of course, the cost,
Right.
and also the professionalism. I feel safe,
Mm.
Okay.
like whatever the doctor is conveying to my mother is correct. I'm not questioning it. I'm like, let me Google, let me research. A lot of these doctors have studied here. Now, my doctor particularly told me something that was fascinating. She told me, she said, I had a chance to study in the US. And it was very tempting because of the technology and the big universities and things like that. But she said I declined it because I did not like the client doctor relationship.
Hmm.
She said that's one thing that I cannot sacrifice is
Okay.
the client doctor relationship. And she
Right.
used relationship, right? She didn't use services or appointment or something that makes you a number, right? I even met her mother. She gives hugs. This stuff here is personal.
See,
It, it's a I don't we don't have to okay, another thing, it's so many things I love. So another thing is I don't have to go through anybody. I'm not in a waiting room. I don't have to talk to receptionist, the nurse, the admin. I get on my phone on WhatsApp and I talk directly to all, even if it's an anesthesiologist or it's always patient directly to physician. You may have to wait for a response, but they always respond in a beautiful amount of time. It's short to me. But I like the fact that I don't have to go through changes and hoops to talk to my doctor. If I have a question, and y'all, we getting older too, so it's not just for the parents, it's for us too. Because
Right.
as we age, we gonna need to see the doctor more too. So I'm getting to like experience all these things through mom in a different place and the way they handle her. And I'm so happy. And when she gives me direct feedback, she said, this is the best place in the world. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm happy. I feel healthy. The doctor is wonderful. Even the machines that they use are very updated and very modern.
Right.
No pain, mammogram, no pain. And I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, why are they not doing this in the States? The equipment is available, the
Right.
equipment is here. Why would you not? Simple things. My mom has rolling veins, little teeny tiny veins. Every time she went to the doctor in the States, she would come back with 3 or 4 band-aids. I would be upset because they got us. The nurse here, she went in and took a blood the first time she got it. I said, how did you do that? She said, I used the baby meat.
Like, that's kind of like, duh. So simple that it just went over folks' head in the States. Just
Gone. No, I said, why isn't that standard? That should be a standard practice for people who have small veins or rolling veins in me. I mean, it was no issue. It was perfect. And we just never experienced it. Now, people may already know that, but we didn't. Because my mama's been getting jabbed they keep, we don't know. They're not telling us. They obviously don't know.
Right.
obvious.
Because they put it in practice, but something that simple, but yet so significant and causes less stress where you don't mind. It's stressful to, oh, they got to take my blood. Here we go. Whereas you just like go ahead and take it and know you're under the best care with people who know what they're doing.
Right.
They
Right.
studied, they are approved. So that even though that was minor, it spoke to our overall experience and accessibility to all the different levels of healthcare. Neurology, I think y'all know I had the mold incident where I had
Right.
to leave, right? I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I'm good. I'm at 99.9. I told her, I asked her, I said, can I have antibiotics? I kept pushing antibiotics because in the States,
That's
it's about antibiotics. She kept telling me you don't need them. And I was kind of offended. I'm like, what you mean I don't need none? She
you
said,
just saying
because you
that
don't
because I'm black?
that part. I was like, what you mean I ain't? She said, because you don't have an infection. You just have fluid. So we just got to give you a shot to help you excavate or
Right.
evacuate the fluid, but it's not
An
infected.
infection.
In the States, they would have gave me them doggone antibiotics, would have asked no questions. If I would have said I want them, they would have prescribed and went on by their day. And it could have exacerbated the situation.
Right.
So I know that was long, but I'm overwhelmed with the healthcare here.
Yeah.
Focus word is
In a good way.
care, right? Healthcare.
Yes.
Right.
It's interesting because America is the greatest country on earth. I don't know if you knew that.
I was not aware. Thank you so much for that.
And they have the best healthcare system in the whole wide world. I don't know if you knew that. Right? Where we get to not even talk to nurse practitioners, but talk to the entry level nurses about our health concerns. And maybe they will pass it on to the doctor if they think they do not know. But we do have in Portugal, you have waiting rooms, you have receptionists, you have all of that. But you are not in a room where the doctor is hopping from room to room to room to room
No.
at your checkup. That's what's not
That's
happening,
good.
right?
That's good because
You get,
that's giving
they
and taking.
can't, that's not good doctoring. You get solid time with the doctor in his or her office by yourself with them, closed door. The bed that they use to examine you is usually in their office.
Mhm.
So they're only seeing one person at a time.
Yeah.
So, right? And so you feel like you're heard. And that is a
Right
major
away.
difference between my experience with healthcare in the United States and my experience with healthcare in Portugal. And it sounds like it's the same way in Mexico. So, one of the things about aging away from your home country, one of the things about moving or not moving your parents is creating a plan for what it's going to look like for when you cannot either remember
Mhm.
whether you paid your bills or not. You know your bills got to be paid, but did you pay them? You can't remember your password to log in, right? My mom was giving away her information like everybody and their mama was calling, talking about they were from the Department of Water and Power. And we about to turn off your stuff if you don't pay $238 now. And she was giving away her
And she's giving away
information.
information.
They were stealing money from her left and right. Left and right. And so for those of you who are watching our channel, now is the time for you to plan what you want that phase of your life to look like.
Mhm.
I'm claiming that I will never have memory issues. I'm claiming that. My grandparents didn't. Why I got to have them, right? They
That's
didn't.
right.
I ain't having them. Now my mom decided to allow that to happen. No, two
Not you.
languages, whatever I got to do. I'm claiming it. But I would be idiotic if I did not plan for the worst.
Unfortunately, we have.
Yeah.
Car
Yeah.
accidents can happen. Like, even though I'm binding and rebuking any generational curses as far as my health goes, you know, car accidents, things happen,
That's right.
you know? And so we could be in a position not to be able to take care of ourselves. Do you have a plan? Folks in this audience, do you have a plan? Plan that stuff now. Talk with your kids if you've got kids, or whoever is going to be your buddy, to see what that's going to look like in that next phase of your life. So have you and your mom planned what that's going to look like in Mexico?
Not in detail. I'm always into financial. That's always my focus. Because without the financial part of it, you can't execute anything, right?
That's
So
that's
I
that's
go
true.
through, yeah. So I'm in the part where I'm building, kind of focusing on that primarily. And then she's in such good health that I'm kind of, I would say, have my guard a little bit right, because there's no urgency. She's doing fine. Um, but speculatively speaking, as you said, things happen, right?
Right.
So I think having a nest egg for that. Also, I recently got my residency. Woo, 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 woo,
That's
woo, woo.
right.
Congratulations.
It's
Thank you.
official.
That's official, yes. So, with that opens up accessibility to health plans, local health plans. So I'm also looking into that. My doctor does have a person, it's all about connections, has a person that sells individual health packages. So looking at something like that as we settle in here.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
one of the things that we would suggest, y'all, is that you look wherever you're going, if you're talking about yourself
Mhm.
or if you're talking about bringing a parent, you look to see what the local wages are, and then you start saving that. So, like for Portugal, minimum wage is about 800, 900 euro or $1,000 per month. Well, obviously you don't want to pay somebody minimum wage who's helping you, but And so if you think about, let's just, because I can't multiply fast in my head, I'm just going to go with $1,000. So let's just say you could afford, you could pay somebody $1,000 a month for quality care, or €1,000, then that's $12,000 a year. So that, you know, how much do you need to save so that you will have enough and it will never run out? If you go by the standard that your money can double every 5 years if you are invested in the stock market properly, then you need to save 5 years worth of help. So 60,000. That's doable.
That's
60,000, and then it keeps growing so that you
Right.
always have
Right.
that.
Right.
And it compounds, y'all. It compounds. So even though it's doubling upon itself. If you don't need all of that, then you have even more. So that is something that you need to put into your plan, regardless of whether you are going to retire and or live out the rest of your life in your home country or out of country. You need to figure out what that's going to cost and plan accordingly. When I started looking for help for my dad, they were talking about $4,000 to $12,000 per
Per
month.
month. Yeah.
Yep.
4,000 for Skid Row, 12,000 for the Cadillac, I suppose, and then like 9,000 for the average person. $9,000 per month, y'all. That's, what is that, 108 or 1,000 plus per year? Per year. You do need to have a plan, but that's why Susie Orman's talking about $1 million, because if it's going to cost you $108,000 a year, and the average person with dementia lasts for 10 years.
Right. Right. It's a long time.
Right. I love your transparency on this topic, no matter how it sounds or people may judge. Your honesty speaks, right? Like, hey, Shaquan, folks, we have to know our own limitations. Go ahead.
I wanted to touch on the back of that list. I have a girlfriend whose mother has dementia. She's also blind. She's partially deaf. She's in her 90s. She brought her here. She put her in a facility, Golden Ages. Before that, she had in-home care. The lady came, I think, 5 days a week, every week from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. or something, and it was $100 and something a week. It was $400 to $500 a month.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
right. So this is what I'm saying, opening up these options. This is what I'm talking about with my mother while I'm here. 'Cause if I never wanted to happen, but if over time something I can afford, $400 in a month better than $9,000 in a month, and we could take that extra money and eat good and go on vacation.
That part right there.
That's it. Right. So that was part of my decision making as well, and for myself, I can afford to have in-home care. And now she's moved her mother to a facility, and it's still $500 to $600 a month. And
See,
she has her own little studio in a facility for other
Hmm.
aging people. Yeah, so she has managed at 93 years old with dementia and blind and partially deaf to learn Spanish. She's learned Spanish.
Wow.
that's probably lessening
Wow.
or slowing down her dementia. Wow.
She has learned the Spanish. I mean, phrases, everything. She's studying. She is doing great. She's doing great.
That is amazing. That is amazing. See, I already know. Gloria be like, what they talking about? I don't understand what the words coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
She be saying, it's all Greek to me. They're speaking Portuguese, mom, not Greek. They speak in Spanish, mom, not Greek. Right? Like, I know taco. I know burrito. You know,
She knows
that's
better than me, and I'm supposed to be speaking
that,
something, and she don't come on.
see, trying to gain my financial freedom and get out of here. That's right, Tanya. I know that's right. I know that's right. I
Yeah.
just sold my house closing on the 7th and quit my job in preparation for my US
All
exodus.
right.
My dad had a heart attack last week. Oh, Jessica, I'm so sorry. I'm now faced with the decision of whether it's appropriate to leave. When you say appropriate,
Right.
what does that word mean? And so now is a perfect time for me to say what my mom said to me.
Oh, here it
So
comes.
what had happened was so I said I said to her, I said, Mom, I said, so and so, who's a family member, said that I was being selfish and this and that and the other, and they couldn't understand how I could just traipse off to Portugal and leave you, in the care of strangers, etc. I said, so what would you like to have happen? Like if you had your wish, understanding that staying here, living by yourself is no longer an option because this situation ain't sustainable. I'll turn around, you be eating cat food in a minute. So so this is not sustainable. But if understanding that you have to have, like, what would you like? Would you like for me to move back here and get a job and take care of you? And she's like, oh, heavens no. Why would I ask you to give up your life
Mm.
to do that?
Right.
So all these people in the comments thinking they know what my mom wants.
Mm.
All these people. And so, okay. And so they're telling me what my mom wants. Now I asked her and she said no.
Mm.
That's not what she wants.
Mm.
Because she don't want her daughter telling her what to do. That's why. But whatever. Like that's not what she wants.
Right.
So think about that when you have a family member telling you what is best for you or what you should be doing for other family members. Realize that they're just talking. They don't know. They're talking out of their own guilt, out of their own experiences, out of their own
Out of their own
regrets, out of their
fear.
own fear, etc.
All of
Right.
it. Yeah,
And
it's a
Right?
lot of fear.
that's a
Yeah.
conversation she should have with her dad too.
That's why I brought it up,
Because
Jessica.
people bounce back. He can come back
You're
and
going to have to talk louder.
he can come back and be stronger than before. So, have that conversation with him.
Exactly.
Don't just take it upon yourself to think that this is what I have to do now. This is my life now, because it's not.
We make assumptions based upon what we think is expected of us. And the opposite is true too, right? Like I remember my uncle saying, I said, well, where's Michael and Andrew? He said, well, they're coming tomorrow. I didn't tell them about this family reunion thing because I didn't think they could, they were so busy. I didn't think they could afford it, or I didn't think that they would want to come. And it's like, okay, here, it works the opposite, right? People make assumptions.
Mhm.
They either spend your money for you or figure out you can't afford it without ever asking,
Right.
or they make assumptions about what you should be doing or what the other person wants from you. All of this stuff without ever talking to the person.
Yeah.
Without ever talking to the person. And so, Jessica, as Rick said, ask him. Ask him what he wants you to do. And if he
I asked
says he
my
wants you to stay, ask him for how long and specifically to do what.
measure.
What is the specific expectation? Could you just put it off for a month or two? Or, I really can't imagine my life with you not taking care of me. And then there's a decision that you have to make, but at least start there.
Right.
Because there is no decision if he's like, no, I don't want you to do that. Parents do not raise, good parents do not raise their kids to be martyrs.
Right.
They want their kids to have a happier, healthier life, wealthier, healthier, happier life than they had.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They didn't raise you, they didn't sacrifice for you to give up your life and never find joy. Right? I don't want
That's right.
my son to give up all of his dreams for me. It's his life. I want him to live it, and I want him to find his joy. Question: what advice do you have for a young newlywed couple who want to rent their home out and move to Portugal but have a chunk of debt? Easiest way to move to Portugal in this situation.
Get rid of your debt.
Briza, this is not really the subject for today, but it depends on what kind of debt it is. Is that debt including your home? Is that debt credit card debt? Is that debt student loan debt? If it's student loan debt, is it public or is it private? Right? So it's hard to answer that question. However, I'm going to answer in general. Do not move out of the country if you do not have a healthy emergency fund. It is going to cost more than you think, right? Nikki, didn't it cost a little bit more than you thought, right? It's going to cost more than you think because there's always no one can prepare you for this, for you not to miss a beat. I don't care how much research you do, et cetera, et cetera. Something's going to happen. Something's going to come out of the woodworks. Oh, didn't I tell you?
Never fails.
No, you didn't tell me. Or you told me and I forgot. And I didn't put in my budget when you told me or whatever, right? Like, so that's number one. Whatever you think you need, double it. That's number two. Do not move if you're not lowering your cost of living. If you've got a bunch of debt, you need to lower your cost of living dramatically. So let's just say, young newlywed couple, that you are going to keep your 100% remote jobs, American jobs, and then you're going to move to Portugal. You're not going to move to Lisbon, Portugal, and look at a $4,000 apartment that is a penthouse with a pool and say, oh my God, we could never afford this in America. We live in large. Let's do this because you can. That's what you're not going to do. So whatever mortgage you were paying in the States, let's just say you were paying $2,500 a month, you are not going to pay $2,500 a month for rent in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
If your expenses were, thank you, if your expenses were $5,000, you need to make that a third to a half less in Portugal. Take the rest of that money and pay off the debt as soon as possible. Okay? So that's the best I can say without knowing more information. Now that you have decided assisted living is best for your mom, are you still getting pushback from people? Oh, girl, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, still from family getting pushback. You know, I can't, because in their minds, they're thinking facility. They're thinking of like a hospital type setting with hospital beds, with people walking around in hospital gowns, right? Shuffling around
in their pajamas.
You know, that's not what I'm talking about. So she and my dad will be in a private home, in somebody's home. The lady who owns the home and her husband live in the guest house in the backyard. It's a beautiful home.
Beautiful home.
They take care of the residents and they have some helpers. And, you know, if mom wants to go into the kitchen and get a glass of water, she can go into the kitchen. It's not some big, you know, industrial kitchen, you know, that's downstairs and you got to go through some elevators that are only made for maintenance or something, right? No, it's normal. It's a normal private home in a neighborhood with a backyard and all of that kind of stuff. And so, but people don't know. They don't know. They don't even know that these kind of places exist that people who have taken care of their parents and their parents have transitioned on may open up their home and take care of other people's parents because that's their
Absolutely.
ministry.
Right.
And you usually, here in California, you can get that usually for less money than in a facility that is so sterile, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we still get pushed back because that's what people want to do. People want you to live your life the way they want you to live your life. Never mind what you want.
No, it don't matter what you
Never mind what you want.
do. They want you to have what they want.
Okay, we just read that one. Okay, unlock that one. Question, whatever. Okay, just read that one. Unstar that one. I just wanted to put this up. Hey, Robin, welcome.
Rob.
Welcome to Our Black
Welcome.
Utopia. Thank you for tuning in. I hear you loud and clear with background noise at Coffee Bean Tea and Coffee. Okay, good. Thank you. You're in Panama.
Wow.
Yay. Hey, Tia Nikki, your channel sparked my fast track to scout Merida and to get my temporary residency completed by December 2023.
I'll be back in
That's what I'm
Merida
talking
this
about.
year.
Yes.
All right.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. See, that's what I'm talking about. And okay. Hi, Nikki. Looking good, girl. Are you feeling better?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Does Merida have private health insurance available for purchase?
Yes, it does.
And I don't think it's Merida, it's Mexico, right?
Yes, Mexico. That's what I was saying. Now that I have my residency, it opens it up at the IMS office, IMSS office, the equivalency of social services. They have plans that you can purchase for very moderate $40 a month. But then also my doctor knows somebody who builds plans based around what you want, because some of the plans at the social services office may not cover a specialty service that you need, like cardiovascular doctor, or depending on what's going on with you. So they can also build plans where you can have burn specialists who you particularly need. Even the nutritionists are very big out here. To help you, yeah, to help you. So we have several. And then I also, and you can email me at tianikki@tianikki.com, tianikki@tianikki.com. And I can give you a referral for a doctor that can give you some information. Actually, I have a young lady that sells international coverage. So Cigna is very big in America. A lot of people use Cigna because you can pay and Cigna will reimburse you because they have an international. But I have found that a lot of the premium, the packaging, the premium payments are so much higher than just paying for whatever you need,
Right.
right?
See,
That monthly.
Cigna's slick. They think they slick. They get these Americans who don't realize that healthcare is affordable outside of the States, and you're paying that high premium. And sometimes the premium is more than the service would cost in and of itself. We
Exactly.
pay, let's see, let me do the math, because we pay every 6 months, but let me tell you what it would be monthly. For private health insurance in Portugal is $173.33 a month for the two of us of a certain age with pre-existing.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So, right?
Yeah. Local
I-
coverage
It,
is much.
it, yeah, you don't like, I know that there's some American coverage that works in Mexico because I've heard Cortez talk about it and stuff like that, but
But that premium, I mean, for $300, $400, $500 a month, and the procedure or the whatever you need costs $100.
Right.
so why
Right.
are you paying that when you could just exactly. Halisi and Rick, continue to love your parents and make the necessary decisions that enhance their lives. Thank you, Mel and
Thank you,
T.
Mel and
Also
T.
continue to love yourselves, right? It's not either or. Thank you. Thank you. Right? Like, I mean, we've got to put on our own. This is what it looks like when you leave the States, y'all. $170 and the vertigo is gone. And the vertigo is
Gone.
gone.
I've
Not
been watching her. She's fine. The
not take
terms is
these pills until and then maybe one of these days you won't have to take them anymore. Please tell us the name of
right.
the doctors your mom went to.
Mhm.
The name of the medical facility in Merida is called B as in boy Medica. B Medica. So it's a office building with multiple doctors, ears, nose, and throat, a nutritionist, a vertical doctor, a dentist, a chiropractor, and a neurologist are all in that one building. B
A-
Medica.
And they're all in the same practice.
They're
See, I
all in.
find that interesting too, because my doctor, so I go to, I hate to say this, but I'm about to say it, a geriatric gynecologist. I don't look at myself as geriatric, but
They
their
can't.
their slogan is something along the lines of, because it's in Portuguese, grow young as you grow old. And they have in their practice a nutritionist, right? They have, of course, the gynecologist, a general practitioner, a hydrotherapist, biofeedback therapist, all of this in the same practice. You never see that. It's usually like all family practitioners are all pediatricians or all
Mhm.
gynecologists, right?
That's right. Sectional. Yeah.
Rarely do you find a mix all in one practice, and that's smart because the body is whole. It's not just the girly parts and then that's disconnected from everything else on my body. They all work
Exactly.
together, right? what
Exactly.
type of what type of elder care do they have in Mexico or in Portugal? Well, it
Oh
sounds
well, the
like they
elder.
have more in Mexico than they do in Portugal. I'm just going to say that right off.
You said it right. You said it right, Halisi. It's endless here. I mean, you can have personal care. You can have, like I mentioned, a nurse come
Mhm.
in and do personal care, or you can be in a facility. Like my girlfriend has her mother in Golden Ages is the name of the facility that she's in, and she also mentioned that she's going to move her to another facility. I don't know the name of it, but she's looking to move her to another one. So this place is very plentiful with actual facilities, with apartments and homes and assisted living, right?
Mm.
And home care and personal private practice.
Yeah, yeah. I think, y'all, Mexico is a lot more like the States in kind of following that North American culture in that regard. Portugal, on the other hand, is old school and a lot of generations still live together. And so they're very, very far behind when it comes to facilities
Yeah.
for
Mm.
assisted living, for elder care. With that said, the cost of manpower in Portugal is affordable, and so from that standpoint, I think you can still get the care that you need and pay someone, pay a nurse practitioner type of person a very affordable rate that they will be happy to get. In other words, we can overpay them and still feel like we are getting a good deal that we can afford, and they will be blessed by making more than they could have made working in the public system.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what Portugal can offer today. But as
Also,
far as the facilities like we understand them,
No.
nah, they're few and far
I wanted
between.
to of this see, they don't have endless facilities. We have maybe 5 to 7. Okay.
Okay.
And also, I'm glad you said that about the family unit. So it's the same here. Families are together. It's not a lot of people like elderly homes, so to speak. most of the people need care, some type of health care, right? Disabled something. But a lot of people here who do have someone in the home that needs care has the person live because it's so inexpensive. So
Right.
they have a back house or a casita or something like that, and the person just lives on the ground,
Hmm.
opposed to them sitting because of the family orientation. So I just wanted
Right.
to
Yeah. Yeah. And all of that becomes feasible outside of the United States. Hello, Rick and Halisi. There's going to be a mass exodus. Tracy says, I
add,
can feel it. I am setting
man,
myself up to do it in the future, getting a plan together and stacking them
Good.
dollars,
Good.
y'all. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. I feel it too. I'm hoping, like, Nikki. So I get back here and
um,
I haven't been watching the news or anything. We're going to South Africa after this. I'm trying to figure out, okay, got to get the bureaucracy stuff together for my mom and
right.
dealing with this condo and everything. And my mom's back there watching TV and I see out of the corner of my eye, number 45 up there talking about winning primaries.
Oh yeah, I said what? I saw something. I said what? This is going on?
What's
What?
going on? Is this Groundhog's Day? What is
For real?
going on? What is
Real
going
ground.
on? Right. And so I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Could you fathom, girl? Oh my God.
All
Hmm.
between the lawsuits and then the criminal indictments, and this man is winning
He won.
primaries.
Won.
New
Two.
Hampshire, Iowa. Like, what is going on?
It's
And
absurd. It makes no sense. I
so,
can't
Tracy,
even
set
process it
yourself
anymore.
up. You want to do this sooner than later because
That's
I don't
right.
know what's going on. I do not know what is going on. Antoine asks, I hear about finding resources for your mother, but how about resources for yourself? Like resources to support your family so that you can have some time off and things like that. But your mom is not at the point where you have to take care of her like that.
No, she's just every day. I cook and clean and help her. But I don't need to do any type of physical,
Yeah.
exert any type of physical energy to help her. She's fine, walking and talking and moving. She's good. She's in
Yeah.
probably the best health she's been in years. In the States, she suffered a lot from depression. So
Right.
since she's been here, all of that's lifted.
Gone
So
away.
she's yes,
Yeah. I mean, in
yes,
those early days, the only thing that I had to do was pay my dad's bills, make sure he was taking his pills, and remind him about doctor's appointments. That's it. That's it. It was easy at first. And I was like, shoot, I could do this forever. But it didn't stay like that.
Right.
It didn't stay like that. Have you purchased medical insurance in Merida? Is that an option? And we've kind of talked about this. So you said you did just now that you've got legal residency, you did just purchase.
No, I haven't
Not
purchased yet. I
not
just got
really.
ready 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So I have not. Yeah, I just got it this week.
Okay,
Um,
let's pause right there. Let's pause right there because we have been urging folks who are like Mexico, because they're listening to the media, right? And we're like, baby, Mexico's the best kept secret. It's not a secret. There's a million Americans living there, but it's the best kept secret.
it
Okay.
is.
So you said you've been living in Merida, Mexico for going on
2 years.
2 years.
A
You
year and
coming
a
up
half.
on 2 years, right? So you moved at the same time we did. We were leaving the States on the very same month of the very same year. And you moved to Merida, but you just
Mhm.
got legal residency. How were you able to do that?
Well, we came in and then we left again. We went to Belize. Because border runs. So if I can quickly talk about border runs. So border runs don't have to be out of the country. They just have to be out of the state. So a lot of people, to get the next 180 days
Hmm.
will skip the border, right? So and another thing, viewers, you should know, I had a friend that went to Guadalajara. for a few days and stayed there and enjoyed herself 3 days. You got to be out 3 days, and then came on back.
Oh, that's good to
I did,
know.
yeah, right, 3 days. So I did the same thing. My mother and I went to Belize, which was beautiful, and stayed for a little bit, and then came on back and got an additional 180 days. So what I did was use the regularization program, which is the same thing that Cortez used.
Right.
So you had to have visited between 2018 and 2022 to qualify for the program, which is no income verification, and you don't have to leave the country. You can do it right downtown, down here at the migration office, and that's what I did. I did not make another. I didn't leave the country again or whatever because my visa, my tourist visa, 180-day tourist visa, had to be dead. It couldn't be in effect for me to qualify for the program. So
Oh, so you had to be past the 180 days
right,
and
gotta
technically out of
be
compliance.
pretty much. However, you just pay a fee. They don't lock you up or anything. You just pay the fine for the
Okay.
days,
Mm.
for the amount of days. So that was cool. That was about 2,000 pesos. Um, so I qualified for the program. So you gotta visit twice. If you can make it in and out in 1 year, which I did because I had three, you can qualify for the program. So people that are coming this year will qualify in 2025. 2025 will be
Okay.
your year. Making it this year twice, either 2025 or 2026. Make sure, Halisi, I will send you the link that
Okay.
explains the whole program, the requirements, when you need to visit. And so that is what I use. I followed Cortez's advice and
Right.
saw his outcome, and he did the same thing. And so that I think is the caveat that will help so many people who is not having that $3,500 a month, depending on which embassy you go to in the States. All of them are
Right.
different requirements, right? And having a great immigration lawyer that can take you through the process and make sure you understand it. So, Halisi, I'll send you that so you can communicate that to your viewers. My people, you on there, you know where I'm at. Holla at me.
Eh,
T. So,
eh.
that has been a great motivator for me kind of hanging out and staying here and going out and coming back and just doing a whole year and a half because I knew in January I would qualify for this program.
Okay.
And my
Okay.
mother
So
does
I
two
want y'all
ways
to
for my
listen. I want y'all to listen to that. You hear her. You heard her. You can qualify without meeting the monetary requirements. Okay. We'll talk about some specifics in a minute, but your mom, you're about to say about your mom. She qualified two
two ways.
ways.
Right. So she can roll under me in the La Familia program, which is I'm
Mhm.
already a resident, right? So we just need the birth certificate, the apostle from the office stating that she indeed is my mother. They have to do
Right.
that statement.
That
Or
So
right.
she can
family
go through I
reunification.
do, right, right. So or she can go out the same way I did and just apply because she's been in and out twice.
Right.
Once coming in and once going to Belize. So that's all she needed to.
Oh,
So she can do it this way. Only thing is I'm talking to my lawyer in a couple next week to see what's the most affordable. Is it more affordable to have her just roll under me? Or is it the same price or a lateral for her to just go down here to the
Right.
migration and just go through the process and get her temporary residence? So that's a decision that I will assess with the lawyer,
mm.
with the immigration lawyer, so she gets some, direction, and then
Right.
we'll go from there. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So I'm the reason why I reiterated this, folks, because there's some of you out there right now who want to leave before the next inauguration and your money is not straight yet. You like and I love Mexico because the flights to get to Mexico are not like the flights to get to Portugal. They're not like the flights to get to Colombia. They're not like the flights to get to France, right? They're more like the flights to get to Vegas. And so you've got a more affordable flight and you've got an affordable cost of living. You've got a friendly, safe, yes, safe country that will allow you 6 months upon arrival most of the time. You get a tourist visa that will allow you to stay for 180 days. As Tia Nikki said, then after that 180 days or right before it ends, you want to leave the country, go anywhere else for an extended weekend vacation, come back, got to be gone for 3 days, come back, and most likely they're going to give you another 180 days. If you cannot afford to qualify for a residency visa, because every single residency visa for every single country has some financial requirements. The financial requirements for Mexico, Nikki, are more than the financial requirements for Portugal.
Yes.
Really?
Way more. Way more. Way more.
Yeah.
Way more. So we only needed $1,400 a month to qualify because we needed minimum wage plus 50% or plus 25% or something like that, right? So that's what we needed. Mexico at the time, we had to be bringing in $2,500 a month.
Right.
It's 35
and that
this
was
year.
And that was at the beginning of 2022.
Yep. And now 2024 is 3,500.
See? So there you go. But this is a way for you to get out of Dodge, save up your coin. You lowered your cost of living so you can save up your coins. Put yourself in a position either by working on your side hustle in the meantime, in between time, save that money to get your rental property, whatever you need to do so you can qualify for that residency. Or if you love Mexico like we love Mexico, you can do it the way Cortez and Niki did it, whereas you're in country, you've proven that you are not a burden on the system, you've got your little lease with your apartment, you've been in country for a certain amount of time, and they go, okay, well, we see that you're here, you're integrating the community, you're not causing any trouble, you're not costing us any money, you're actually adding to our community. So yeah, let's figure this out. Let's figure out how we can do this. So what did you have to prove when you went down there?
Nothing. I showed up. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Listen, Rick, it was beautiful, y'all. She said my attorney was great. She's like, they might ask you some questions, and why do you want to move to Merida? And what do you like? And if you get confused, then let me know, and I'll come in and help you. The lady did not ask me one thing. She took my passport. She looked at my stamps to make sure that they were accurate. She went in the system. The biggest, I was out in 2 hours. The longest period was her entering the information in the system. I got my card when I was there. It was effortless. My attorney stood in line for me, so I did not have to wait in line. They are doing it by appointment based now. Before, they had people just showing up. But now you can get an appointment to make it run much smoother. They provide a seating area. And I got inside, and my credit card went, they had to do three payments, three separate payments. The first one went through, the second one didn't. My lawyer came in with the credit card and charged it. I paid him back with Wise. It was the most gracious process ever. Totally stressless, hand holding. Only thing I needed was my passport and my card with my money. She said, once they take the money, you good to go.
It's done.
It's done.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. So, okay. So you didn't have to show a lease that you had a place to live. You didn't have to show bank statements. You didn't have to show some receipts that you've been buying food and been here, or a utility. Nothing, just that you have been in country. Here are the stamps to show that you've been in country this time, left that time. That's it.
She had forms, right? So they have forms. You have to fill out. It was about 5 pages worth of forms where I just signed.
Right, because the person you hired does that for you, so you don't know what it is. Right. Yeah.
Done. She sent me, I could read it in English and all of that. She was like, come 20 minutes early so we can sign, so it'll be quicker. So I just signed those documents before I went in. Once I went in, they had me sign some more documents, the receipt of payment, the receipt of everything, the copy of my passport. They did that. And then that was it, y'all. That was it. It was the
Oh
most
my
easy.
gosh.
You didn't have to show nothing, no lease, no
Wow.
bank statements, no ticket to show when I came or left or my ID where I'm
Right.
coming from.
Right?
Nothing. Just a passport with those stamps in it and the card, the debit card. That's what they want to see.
Tracy,
And that was
are you watching? Are you watching? We talked yesterday, Tracy. Are you watching this? Do you hear what she's saying?
Yeah.
You thought I was lying. You thought I
Yeah.
was
We just talked to somebody yesterday about this.
girlfriend.
oh,
Yeah, and she's got two baby, well, not baby girls, but two adult daughters, right? Do you really want to be on the other side of the country while they're still in the States? Now, for us, yeah. But if you're a single mom and you've got daughters, maybe not. Like, she's like, but Mexico, she
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 never
didn't
gave
she
it a
didn't
thought.
she didn't say cartel, but she might as well have said cartel, right?
that's what everybody say. And the biggest cartels are in Colombia. Just so everybody knows, this is a PSA that the major operating cartels are in Colombia.
Yeah.
Colombia. And we
Everybody
have
who speaks Spanish ain't Mexican, y'all.
hello, hello,
and
hello,
even and
hello.
even Medellin, Colombia is safer than New York City. Yes, I often say living in America is very much like being in an abusive relationship, dismissed, right? Not trusted. It's always accused, right? Same for bad jobs when you're not valued. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like America has they backhanded me and slapped me across the face and called me a bitch so many
It
times.
did. It made you Tina Turner. That's what it did. It made
Right?
you
Yeah.
Tina.
Right?
Yeah.
I just, yep.
Continue always taking for granted that you'll stay. Pinky, I don't know what the first part of your thing was. I'm sorry. Marguerite, Halisi, I applauded your decision for your mother's health care. I know firsthand what all is involved in caring for the elderly parent with health
Yeah. Hey,
issues.
Marguerite.
It's more than a notion. It is more than a notion.
Tracy said, I'm all ears.
Uh,
There you go. You heard it.
Tracy.
you heard it. You heard it.
Get your
You,
trips in. Two. That's all you need. And tickets are cheap when it's really hot here in June and July. You can get a ticket for $300 round trip. That's how much I
right?
paid you.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And then for those folks who would miss seeing their kids, you can see them just as often as you would if you moved out of state.
Right.
Probably more often because we don't. When you're in the state, you don't even see years because sometimes pass.
It truly, truly, it's like y'all didn't invite you. You didn't visit me here, maybe um because I live in an exotic place. You might come and visit me, right?
Right.
Maybe. I'm trying to
Don't
catch the rest of these.
I came here. Everybody want to come when I'm leaving. I got people wondering why I'm going. That they question me so much. I was like, no. If you've never been, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. If you
Right.
haven't reached, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing. But then they want to come. Or I want to visit. So I'm accommodated getting a 4-bedroom house. Nobody ever came. I downgraded to a 3-bedroom. Nobody ever came. I'm in a 2. When they come, they can go at the hotel that it's a Residence Inn right down the street if they come down. Don't be accommodating for nobody because half of these people will not come.
No.
They're not. They're not. And so
They
that's
don't
another thing. When you get in an apartment, do not be playing for space that's just going to sit there,
exactly. Exactly.
right? Thinking that they're going to come down
Yeah.
and help out and stuff like that. Or not help out, but visit and stuff like that. No.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, they ain't coming. The people who visited us in Denver at our home are the people who have visited us or planning to visit us in Portugal.
And-
Bottom line.
Yep.
Bottom
Yep.
line. Okay, I think I caught all of the questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Okay. Can I live 6 months in the States? Dual citizenship. Yes.
Mhm.
But I don't know what country you're talking about, Cheryl. So if you're talking about Mexico, you wouldn't have necessarily dual citizenship because you might not be able to do it as a citizen of Mexico, but you can do it as a resident of
Right.
Mexico. So Mexico is one of the only countries that I know of where you have less rights as a citizen, less right to come and go as a citizen than you do as a permanent resident. Permanent residents,
It's true.
right now they have no restrictions. We can be out of country for years at a time and still maintain our residency. But as a citizen, you have to be in country a certain amount of times. Portugal's the opposite. Once you get citizenship in Portugal, you can leave for as many months as you want.
Mhm.
If you're thinking about Portugal and 6 months, you're going to have to be in Portugal for 6 months in a day. I would say 6
Wow.
months in a week just to make sure, because you can't be gone. That they're not giving you residency for you to take your money elsewhere. They're giving you residency so you can spend your money in Portugal. And
Yeah.
if you were talking about Portugal, you cannot get residency without a 1-year lease. So you got to be thinking about the fact that you'll have a 1-year lease that I guess you can get out of, and you'll be somewhere else for 6 months.
That's
So
why you asked Cynthia about the subject.
exactly. So Cheryl, yeah, it definitely depends upon what country you want to go back and forth with.
Yep.
Who's attorney? Gretchen?
I think she was asking for
Maybe Nikki's attorney? The attorney that helped you with your immigration process.
Can you email me, please? I don't like to email me.
So Gretchen, either Tia's information to contact her should be in the description below. And if it's not, it will be in there right after this live is over. If you're watching from the future, hey, how are you? Put your questions below. What's the name of the immigration lawyer or practice that facilitated your residency? Okay. So if you're going to go the traditional route, we used Sonia Diaz, and Frederica was in. Okay. So let me see. I know she made a comment about Sonia Diaz because I think she just used her, or maybe I didn't star it. So, I don't know. But anyway, so that's who we used for our immigration. But we went the traditional route because in them days it was a lot cheaper. If you're going to go the route that Niki went, then you might want her specific person because I don't know that Sonia does that. She probably does, but I don't know that she does. Within 180 days, could I go back and forth to California if needed? I have elderly parents in California and Nevada.
Yeah.
Yep. Every time you come back in, you would conceivably get another 180 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Sonia Diaz confirmed this is the process for regularization program. Okay, I guess Diane, you're saying that Sonia does do the regularization program, and that she confirmed that that's what it's called. That's what I think you're saying, Diane. So correct me if I'm wrong. So it sounds like you can go to Sonia Diaz to get this. Mexico Relocation Tours has a list of Mexican consulates with the lowest economic solvency amounts. Okay, wow, there you go. New Orleans had the lowest USD amount, and they accept out-of-state applicants. Yeah, that's another thing. Portugal, you have to go to the consulate they say you go
send you to.
You can't just
Really?
go to, you just
So
can't go to
coming out
anywhere.
of Denver, we had to go to San Francisco
Yeah.
for our VFS appointment.
Right. So we had to fly to San Francisco, rent a hotel room. You got to get there the night before because you don't want to be late. You know how they be canceling these flights,
Exactly.
and so you want to get there on time for your interview, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, you number one, you have to go where they say they only have 3 places for Portugal. So you're going to New York, you're going to Washington, DC, Boston's right there. To me, that's all the same. And then you're going to San Francisco. That's where you're going.
Depending on
Wow.
which part of the
And
country you live
so Portugal is no joke. It costs money. Mexico is a lot easier. There's consulates all over the United States. So
Yes. And
we had a 10-minute drive to our consulate.
wow.
in. Yeah,
My lawyer
Mexico
will
is easy.
look at different consulates and see how much it costs. And then if you're willing to go somewhere, they'll make the appointment there for you. Atlanta seems to have a lot of leniency, and so the Sacramento. So
Okay.
regardless of where you live, I mean, you can get one in the state, but if you want one fast and you're like, hey, I'm willing to travel, drive,
Right.
a couple of
Mhm.
hours to get you one in a different state or get you one that's in the state.
Okay.
So that's good to know. So Atlanta tends to be easier, Sacramento, New Orleans, at least at the time was the cheapest. I don't know.
Mhm.
So that's good to know. Did your mom get her temporary residency as well? We answered that question. Pray, travel, eat. So I'm going to undo that, Laura. Thanks a bunch. I worry because I want decent care when I age. Of course, I never want to burden my daughter, right?
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Parents don't want to be a burden. But why other adult kids believe that their parents want to be a burden on them is
Right.
beyond me. If you have to be
Like
admitted into,
they don't have a conversation with Lissy, like you said, they need to talk.
Right.
right?
They're not having a conversation.
That's why you
That's the
have to plan now. Plan while you're healthy. Plan while you're happy on what you want that part of your life to look like, what it's going to cost, who's going to do what. Plan it all now. I know it's not a fun thing to do. What's worse is being a burden on your kids. What's worse is having the next chapter in a way that you don't want it. That's what's worse.
absolutely.
Or having no plan at all. Do you have to pay the bill in full before leaving the hospital? Can you do payment plans? I see how Cartez has been in the hospital and has had to pay.
Yes. Okay, so you got to pay this Mexican bill, right? They gonna point blank. You got to pay it. They're gonna keep you there. They will keep you there. They will take your passport.
No, that's
That's
crazy.
why financial planning is of the utmost importance, and having a reserve money to pay these bills because they want you to pay. You got to pay. In Mexico, they don't play. They do have one hospital that I don't know. I've heard that there's a hospital that bills you, an expat hospital that you can be billed. But I would definitely say if you're going to be billed, you would have to be either temporary or permanent residents to make sure that they get their money, right?
Right.
I don't think it's with a tourist visa bill. They want some pesos. You
Yeah.
have to pay.
And 2,000 pesos, as she said before, guys, today is about $175 at 16 pesos per dollar, if it's still there. That's what I divided it by. So, and so this is a reason to keep a credit card with a high amount on it, because if you got the money, but you just don't have access to it, if you need $10,000, you can't transfer $10,000 from the bank.
That's right.
It doesn't matter that you have a couple of $100,000 in there. You can't, you can wire it, I guess, but that's going to take a couple of days. They want their money today. That's why you need to keep your credit good, have that credit card with the $25,000, $35,000, $50,000 credit limit. You can charge it and then
Yep.
pay that credit card off at the end of the month because you already had the money anyway.
Mhm.
Also figure out if you are unable to do that because you've been in a car accident and you knocked out and they ain't doing anything until they get paid, who's going to be that person that they can call, that you have in your wallet, that they can call, that either has your card, has access to your money, or will front you the money?
Right.
We talked about
That's good.
all of this when we were talking about that, the people you need in your life to help you get rich. This is who's that do or die person that you can trust with your credit card, who, if the doctor calls them, it ain't gonna be charged up with their, Malono Blanco Malonos or
Yeah.
whatever them designer shoes are called,
Oh my
or
God.
red bottoms or whatever they called. I don't know. They're not gonna have a bunch of red bottoms on your charge card. It's gonna be free and
Yeah,
clear and ready for you to
that went out,
use it.
bought a couple pair of Yeezys.
Yeah, those ugly shoes. Oh my God. I pay $470 a month. I'm single through my job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cheryl. Like I forgot. We were paying through Rick's job, and he worked at a global company, not a small corporation. It was a global company. And we were paying something like $240 per paycheck.
No, it was like
And he
almost
got
$500
paid
a
every
month.
other week, not twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sometimes
exactly. So I added it up to about $6,000 a year just for our portion.
Right.
And now we're paying $2,000 a year.
wow.
Big difference. Big difference,
Mhm.
right? I'm telling you. Also think about fluctuations in the dollar. Yes, that $1,200, 1,200 euro rent could be $1,320 the next month or more. Yes, but probably not. The dollar to the euro does not fluctuate like that typically.
Right.
But how you avoid that if it's euro, I would not necessarily do this for Mexico, is that you transfer $10,000 at a time when the rate is at its best. And then you've got the euro. So that's why I don't look at our rent as fluctuating, because I transfer such a large chunk of money at one time when the rate is at its best for that period of time. So I
That's
think in euros now.
that's applicable to here too, Halisi. We go on a good conversion day to withdraw money or transfer money.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't have Mexican banks. Just because of what the peso's been doing, how strong it's been getting, I might open up a Mexican bank so I could have gotten that conversion at 20 pesos per dollar. That's what it was when we were there.
Right.
Like
That's what it was.
we
It
were
was
eating
$20.
$1 tacos, and them tacos,
Exactly.
you
Yes,
know,
that $20 is lovely.
exactly. What is that type of home called? Oh, I'm assuming somewhere everywhere you mean the assisted living. It's called board and care. Board and care. For all the family who are giving you the pushback, have they offered to step up since they are so concerned?
Of course not.
Actually, one has.
Oh, not one.
I don't want to say their names on
Oh.
here. One has
I was
and
going to say,
said,
do I know them?
can Aunt Gloria come live with us?
Man, do I know them?
So
One.
you do. One person has. So what am I to say? She offered. She offered, you know. I say that lasts about a month. That would last about a month. And she'd be like, who's next? Who's next? True story. Years ago, my parents almost expired from carbon monoxide poisoning. Oh my gosh. I was slated to move out in weeks. When I tell you, their friends were all like, you can't go now.
Yeah.
She went. She went.
That's how you. That's
People
how you
always think they know what's best for you. People always do, y'all. They do. They do. They do. They do. They do. And I'm, for those of you who are on the fence, for those of you who are like, yeah, but what about, Put your mask on first. Put your mask on first. You cannot be the best mom. You cannot be the best daughter. You cannot be the best wife, spouse, partner if you are not taking care of you.
Right.
And if you're miserable, if you're depressed, if you're any of those things, stress the out, you cannot be your best person to that person. You cannot be as much help as you can when you're not stressed out.
That's
What
right.
about socialization? I guess she means for mom. Is mom making
Oh,
friends in Merida, Mexico?
Mom
no.
having a
Well,
good time.
What
mama
mom
is,
doing?
she got more of a life than I do. I'm telling y'all that. So I'm an advocate of groups of brothers and sisters of Merida, and brothers and sisters are all over the planet, of Australia, of Italy, of Portugal, of everywhere.
Yep.
Doing in groups, and she joined a group. She went on a couple of outings. She met one couple of people, and she was done with the group. Now her and her girlfriend talk every day. They talk. She has built. Her mom's quite an introvert, so she just needs one good friend. She doesn't need a crowd. So she has met a wonderful lady. They're close in age. They talk every day. I think that is huge for her social health.
Yes.
She's been able to connect with people. And she could go back out at any time and go somewhere and connect, with more people. But she just found one that she really liked, a young lady that she really liked. So she's been, she is socially adapted very easily. I think for me, taking the initiative to expose her to
Yeah.
different groups and different people and stuff gave her the option to engage and to actually be able to form these relationships, right? So I talk about on my channel all the time about connection here in Merida, and connection and resources are the thing that will save you the most, is
Yes.
being able to tell somebody to get what you need when you need it, and have the resources to live a fuller life. And
Yes.
then you
Right.
don't have to
This
go
this
into
is key. This is key. So for all of you who are like, I don't do Facebook. If you are planning to move abroad, this is the way to connect with other immigrants who speak English, if English is your language, so that not so that you can be American someplace else. No,
right.
so that you can pay less of an expat tax
Yes.
from
Right.
not knowing where the places are to get the best deals, not knowing where to go get your hair cut, not knowing, all of that stuff. These are the people who are going to help soften your landing so that you don't have such a big learning curve.
And you will find that you will experience the same level of isolation that you experience in the States, no
Right.
matter where you go. If you got to come out, and I know it's hard because America separates and isolates. That's what they do. Separate
They
and isolate.
do.
Separate and isolate, baby. That's the name of the game, right? So it's hard to unlearn that habit and relearn how to connect. But it's a beautiful thing because once you start, it blooms, right?
Right.
It
It blooms.
does. We have created a sub community of the Black in Portugal community. And to give Heather props. And I'm telling you, and they be hanging out without us. I'm trying not to get my feelings hurt, but it's like, wait a minute, y'all, my friends, you didn't know each other before us. Now you hanging out without us? How's this happening? You spent the night where? You did what?
Yeah.
How's this happening? This is
Right.
what happens. This is what happens when you leave the States because, like you said, it is divide and conquer. It is separation. We drive into our garage and walk into our kitchen and we never talk to our neighbors and all of that stuff. And you're forced when you're in a walkable city to talk to your neighbors and see them and interact and be human.
Yep.
And I thank God I've been intentional about making sure that we're out there socializing. Rick is better than I am at keeping in touch with people, but by and large, I would say 99% of the people that I have met out here in these international streets are folks I want to hang out with.
Oh, yeah.
They're folks I want to hang out with. It's like, where were y'all in the States? Where were y'all in the States? These are smart people, curious people, fun people, loving people, compassionate. Those are me people. I don't like folks who like to stay stuck on stupid. Halisi, you do not have to explain your personal affairs with every Tom, Dick, and Harpo, as well as Sally, Jane, and Sue. They do not have a heaven nor hell to send you to. But you would think they were paying my bills. Right? You would think that they were paying my bills. Now, I share because I know that there's other folks who are going through this stuff as well, right? Rick went through some of this before I even knew him. And then with his mom, she was in her right mind until she went home to be with dad. So, we didn't have to go through this in the same way with Rick's parents. But you would think that these folks were paying my bills the way they are, talking about my life. But we need to share this because we know, first of all, no one shared this with me. No one told me what this was going to look like. And I saw what my mom went through with my grandmother to a certain extent. But again, my maternal grandparents didn't get dementia or any of that stuff. They died from physical stuff. So this whole I'm physically fine, but cognitively diminishing is a new thing, right? And I saw with my paternal grandmother how that went down from afar. So I think it's really important that we talk about this stuff because we don't tend to do that. And then we get caught off guard when we're called to either pick up the slack because our parents didn't plan, right? Or even more because you guys have not had a conversation about what this is supposed to look like.
That's it right there.
Yeah. I would never want my son to give up his life for me. See? Moms know, peace for Lisa, right? I want to be happy. I want him to be happy and fulfilled, not caring for me. We get along wonderfully, right? I can afford care because Lisa has planned. Right.
But it's just great to have that conversation.
It's great to have that conversation.
Because if you don't have the conversation, they don't know, and they assume that this is the actions that they're supposed to be taking, and I can't go anywhere. I got to make sure
Or the opposite. They think you have it all. The person has it all covered, all handled. And you may talk to your parent and they ain't got squat handled.
Right.
They ain't got squat handled. So if you are the person who is going to be the caregiving, you need to have that conversation. If your parents are not having that conversation, you need to have that conversation now. And then you also need to have that conversation if you have kids with your kids about what you want that part of your life to look like. How are the nursing home facilities? I think we talked about that. Are they state funded home assisted living like in the US or wealthy nursing homes? In Portugal, it sounds like most of them are state funded, which means long waiting lists. And I think there's a couple of private ones.
There's not a whole lot of them.
But there aren't a whole lot of them because it's just a different culture. It's just a different, and it's not just a generational thing. It's also the thing that it's universal health care. And so they're just assuming the state is going to take care of that.
Right.
Never mind that they have to wait 2 years.
They might have to wait, but they'll wait because they think the state should be taking care of it.
Even if they can afford it. That's the culture. Even if they can afford it, they won't pay for it. They'll sit there and wait.
Wow.
Antoine, wait, Halisi, can you repeat this thing about saving $60,000 for health again? What was that about? How does that work? Oh, okay. So what I was saying was, let's just say this was an example, and this is for long-term care. If you're talking about hiring someone to come into your home to help you, the way you can prepare for that is to figure out what the salaries are, adjust for inflation. And so I used the example of $1,000 per month because I could do the math on that. And so $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. You in the stock market, you can double your money every 5 years. on average. Historically, that's what has happened. And so if you know that, and it's costing you $60,000 for those 5 years, and after that it can continue to double, then that's all you need to save is the 60,000 just for the long-term care portion of your care, right? So 60,000, you put it away, you don't touch it, sit it there now. It'll be doubling every 5 years.
Don't put it in a traditional savings account.
No, you invest it in the stock market.
Okay.
It's doubling every 5 years. By the time you need it, you've got the money to hire someone to come into your home to help you. And you only take what you need so that other money is making money for you, so for future costs. So that's what I meant, Antoine. And so I don't know that 60,000 is the number. It depends on where you're living, what their labor costs. Has anyone had to make a choice about going back to the US for a parent funeral or not? Yes. I'll have to pay for funeral because my siblings are broke. But going back will add another 8,000 to the costs.
That's huge for me. That's what I think about often. You know, returning for events like
Right.
one is coming. One is coming. My sister is at end of life care for stage 4 brain cancer.
Ooh,
Yeah. So it's just a matter of moments before I get the call, and that's another financial decision, right?
Correct.
Right. It just is. And then along with that is if I do make the decision to go, then who watches after mom, right?
Right.
So you get that other layer of care for her, or paying somebody to come check on her, or asking a friend, having the connections
right,
and the
right.
resources, ask a friend to drop by or something like that. Thankfully, my mother is able, but for those who, you know, my girlfriend whose mother is 90 something with dementia, her biggest thing was not leaving her. She was like, she was so limited in her ability to move around. So having her in the care facility, Golden Ages, has afforded her ability to just, when she's got to move, she's got to go. When she's got to go, she's gone, without feeling a sense of guilt
Right.
or safety for her mom. So that has
Exactly.
been a question, yeah, that she asked, this person asked, be me. And I think it will hit you first financially, as far
Yeah.
as emotionally. Having the funds to go and bury or to go to an event or a funeral or what have you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think there's several questions in here.
Making a decision if you can't go. I'm sorry.
Right.
Right? Exactly. So in Beyond the Bling, and I think in our Move Abroad toolkit, one of the things that we talk about is budgeting for and planning for unplanned events. Now, that sounds like an oxymoron. Everybody's going to die. There's going to be funerals. We know that. That's a given. There might be some graduations. There might be some weddings when you're not in country. If you feel like, if you want to be there and or you feel obligated to be there, that should be in your budget. And you should put it in, this is money that you're going to need in the next three years or so. So it should be cash or like cash, as close to cash as it can be. And you want to put that where you don't touch it. Now, as far as who's going to pay for the funeral, it is not your responsibility to pick up the cost of your siblings.
No, it's not.
No, no.
So just get that out your mind. If your siblings want gold plated caskets and marble headstones and all of that, if that's what they need to feel like they were being good kids to their parents and honoring their mother and father, they better come up with the cash. I think the whole ritual that we put around death when it comes to spending the money part is goofy. I
It
really
is.
do. So, like Rick knows, don't bury me, don't buy no casket, get a pine box, burn me, and sprinkle me over the mountains, over the ocean. I don't care. I'm dead. I don't care. Don't have a funeral, have a party. I don't do funerals. So don't ask me if you need to go to the funeral, because I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I don't do funerals.
You can't go, right?
I don't do, like, there's certain people that I will have to go to their funeral. Like, I just don't want to hear that kind of flack from the people that I love. And then there are other funerals that I'm not going. I love that person, you know, and I'm sorry that they're gone. I'm not going to that funeral because I don't want to, because I don't like going to funerals. And so I'm not going to, because I'm an adult and I can do what I want to do. Right? Just that. Like, do not let people obligate you
Yes.
to things that you don't want to do. And I don't care what they say. How could you not? Because I don't want to. That doesn't mean I love them any less, but I don't want to sit there and cry for 5 hours.
That's what it means. It means I love me more. That's what it means.
That part right there. I'll have to pay for their funeral because my siblings are broke. So what I would do if I were you, and see, because I have a younger sister who's not in the situation to help with dad, and I have an older sister who just came back into our lives, so she probably doesn't even feel an emotional responsibility to have to do it. So it's all on me. They're not getting a funeral that they want. They're getting the funeral that I will pay for. That's what they're getting. They're not getting a headstone. I think that's stupid. I think it's stupid to waste the earth putting dead bodies into it. So they're going to get burned. They're going to get a service, and we don't have a potluck. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going the cheapest route possible. That doesn't mean that I'm not going the cheapest route possible because I don't honor my parents. I'm going the cheapest route possible because it doesn't make any sense to spend a bunch of money on that.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, exactly.
if they wanted that, they should have saved up the money for it. I'm sorry, say that again, baby.
I said paying for coffins, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 for coffins to put in the ground.
Right. Doesn't really make sense.
For what? To impress who? For why? Right? Like, I don't get it. And so what I would do, like, someone was asking if they should buy burial insurance. People who are 80 maybe should buy burial insurance. If you are 50 or 60 or 40, no. Save that money, put in a high yield savings account, put it in a CD, put it over to the side, and that's your insurance right there. And you will spend a lot less money saving the money than you will paying some third party company that you hope is still going to be around,
right,
to pay for your burial services. So what I would do is I would figure out how much a burial service cost, not burial, but a funeral service costs today, the way you want to do it, the amount of money you want to spend, and that's what I would save. And anything more than that, siblings are going to have, like, they don't get just because they can't get their stuff together doesn't give them a pass.
If you let them, they will spend your money. Believe it.
All day long. All day long. You just gonna get mama that casket?
Yeah.
But look at that casket over there. You can afford it, girl. You know you be making that money.
Yeah.
No. Because every dollar that you spend on burying your parents, every dollar that you spend on that kind of stuff is a dollar that you will not have for your own retirement, for your own burial. And so now you're passing the burden off to somebody else, right? That's what we're doing, right? Generation after generation after generation. We do that when we sell stock when they're down. We do that when we sell grandmama's house as opposed to renting it out, right before gentrification happens. So we don't even get top dollar for it. Right? We don't even get top dollar for it. We make all of these financial moves based upon a scarcity mentality as opposed to an abundance mentality.
Living in lack. Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And so when it
Yes, ma'am.
comes to going back to the States for stuff, that's why we put everything on credit cards. This trip was paid with because it was last minute, right? So it was paid with points. The rental car that's sitting out there, points. That's how we paid for it, And so what I would do, number one, don't let nobody spend your money for you. Number two, don't buy insurance. Put that money away and save it for yourself. And number three, you budget in the funerals, celebrations, graduations, weddings, and all of that into your move abroad plan. And don't do anything you don't want to do.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay. So Letitia, you weren't the only one to ask this question. So we just answered this question. I wish I really wish I could have moved my mom out of the United States. I really do. I think about 20 years ago, I could have made that happen. I don't know if we were in the position to make that happen, but I could have made that happen. Like she was in a mental position to make that happen. But
Now,
okay, so I answered that. I answered that. So unclick that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, so let's go down. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. See if there's any questions that are totally new. Y'all are in the chat. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize we were so far behind.
We're still at 200.
So Costco sells coffins if you really want something fancy. Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't know Costco sold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sells coffins here too. Yeah, they do.
So Lisa, my birth name is Lisa. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. There's one in Oxnard. Okay. There you go. There you go. And I think that's a perfect way to end this. You are so welcome, Tanya. You are so welcome. There are pros and cons to moving with your parents. I wish I could have done this with my mom and dad. I really do. I really do.
I think she would have still resisted.
She might have resisted, but if all three of us would have moved, maybe to started off in Mexico, because she grew up in San Diego.
Yeah, Mexico might have been easier.
We could have probably made that happen, some Lake Chapala or someplace like that where she could find community with other Black women. I think it might have been something that could have happened. It would have changed her whole outlook on life. And she, my mom has let her life get so small. Her circle has gotten so small that she'd probably be a totally different person. So I'm going to end with this. How has this move changed your mommy, and how has it changed your relationship with her?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Halisi, that's excellent. First of all, my heart goes out to people who have challenges moving their mother, or even the thought of it. I'm grateful that my mom is built a little different. She traveled when she was younger. She's been to 6 countries, so she is well aware of the differences between living in the States and living abroad. So before I could get it out of my mouth, she was packed and ready to go. But I know that she was ready to go. She was ready to go, Rick. She was ready before I was ready. So I will say that I know that's rare. So, and I have talked to a lot of clients that do have the issue with trying to bring their parent here. And I had to talk, Halisi, like you said, Rick, about the conversation. Having the conversation. And look, I brought it to her straight. I was like, look, I'm going. I'm going to Mexico.
What you gonna do, mama?
That's what I said. What you gonna do? She said, first she paused, because I understand she's releasing her old life and everything she ever knew and everything. Right. So it may be a little bit more difficult for a decision. It took her a minute. I'm not gonna lie, it took her about a day a few hours out the day, and she said, "I'm down. I'm ready. I want to go." Um, how has it changed her life in indescribable ways? Um, it's hard to even articulate the happiness that I see. Her behavior is the biggest indication. When I look at how she used to be in bed all day with covers and depressed and no friends and not active, and now she's up early. She don't never get up early. She up early, make up the bed, get up and start her day, get her tea, go walking. The lady across the street, the neighbor, came over and introduced herself. She's a senior, introduced her to mother, so now she feel like she knows the neighbor. She's becoming a lot more adjusted and integrated into marriage. Now there are some struggle points. Her using WhatsApp ain't gonna happen. Her learning the language fluently ain't gonna happen. I have to just surrender to that. But it's okay because she doesn't really need it for what she needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen her grow. And she once told me when I was young, you don't stop growing until you stop breathing.
Right.
And if you stop growing, you've already stopped breathing. Flatline, right? Right? If you ain't growing, you ain't living, right?
Right.
Right.
So she is the embodiment of that. She's bodied that. She's really adjusted. She's going through the twists and the pivots with me, with grace, with ease, because I think she overall, in her heart, loves where she is. She
Mm.
loves it. She loves the people. She loves the food. She loves the weather. It's just so many pros with weight, right? Because pros and cons are not about how many, it's about the weight. So
Yes.
that means 2 teams can outweigh 10,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So for her, it's the weight of the pros that's giving her a feeling of liberation,
Okay.
of freedom, which I think she thought she was too old to have.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's when you get older and you think it's over, life is over, and for her, it's just beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Open another leash on life. And I see it in her eyes. I see it in her behavior, in plan making and not surrendering to the infinite, but using the time that she has to live a wonderful, full life
I love
on
it.
her own without
Right.
me, without being mama, just
Right.
being
Right.
her.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
So
you
Tia,
so
I
much.
want to end it saying congratulations.
Yes.
You're growing.
Oh,
You are, oh my God. I'm always sending you a message here and there and say, hey, what's
you
going on, girl? I'm proud of you. We are so proud of you.
Yes.
We love you so much. You are doing
did.
gangbusters down here in Mexico,
Yes, you are helping a lot of folks.
helping a lot of
We
folks.
get it in our chat all the time. The first video that you did is still, I was just answering some comments yesterday from a year and a half ago. Yes, I think almost 60,000 views, almost
Yeah.
60,000 views. So yes, so you guys have heard it. There are pros, there are cons to moving with your parents. Having elderly parents in your home country is not necessarily a recipe for then I can't do it. Niki has showed you how you can do it with your parents coming with you, and we have shown you how you can do it the opposite way, because it just does not work. There's not a one size fits all for this thing. If you need to get your money straight, Beyond the Bling, Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence, that information is in the description below. If you need a community, Our Black Utopia, Fire Over 50. You don't have to be over 50, but from the diaspora, just look us up on Facebook. We are talking everything about how you do fire when you start late, and some stuff about moving abroad. But mostly it's about fire. So all of that information, if you want to get in touch with Niki, if Mexico is your place, look at that information. Her information is in the description below. If you've got more questions, you can always book time with me and Rick, and
all the different classes that Tia Niki offers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Classes, workshops, etc. It's all going to be there. Check out her website. Check out her channel. Look, if you subscribe, you need to watch. Don't go over there subscribing to her channel and not watching and messing with that algorithm now. All right.
That's right.
So if you subscribe, we need you to watch on at least on a semi-regular basis. And for those of you who are thinking about coming to Portugal in June, our meetup with Blacks at Global, we're having the official meetup June 17th and 18th in Lisbon, Portugal. We're going to have fun, y'all. So if Portugal's your place, let that be your scouting trip. If you're coming for our rich journey, come early and come to our meetup. We're going to have fun. There's a boat excursion. We're going to have a party and we're going to do it. And with that, we will see you guys later. We love you and we will see you on Thursday. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
There we go.